I love starting my week on a Monday with the Blue family. I love this family, and I hope you love being in the Blue family as well. And we come here today to do something important, which is for the DA and our Mayor Retief to outline a vision for this beautiful, beautiful bay. A vision where the people are the center of governance. Unlike the other parties, we don't come here and make false promises. Ons is nie bekkig nie. Ons fokus op dienslewering en die waarheid. En dis hoekom dit so belangrik in 'n tyd soos hierdie wat so belangrik vir die baie is om oor die waarheid te praat. Now you will see our mayoral candidate is Retief. And there's one thing that rhymes with Retief, and that's relief. Because Retief is going to relieve us of corruption. He's going to relieve us of maladministration. And he's going to relieve us of those crooks and criminals that are sitting in City Hall. Ek het sien op die nuus die ander dag dat adjunct burgemeester Gary het sy hofdatum vergeet. Hy was nie daar in die hof toe hulle sy saak geroep het. Maar daar was 'n kat daar in die hof daai dag. En ek gesê daar's twee groot verskille tussen Gary en die kat. Eerstens, die kat het nie 'n R3000 haarstyl nie. En tweedens en meer belangrik, die kat is onskuldig. So it's important that we're here today to talk about Nelson Mandela Bay and why this city and these people are the key to unlocking the Eastern Cape. This metro is a logistics hub that connects South Africa with the world. But we know that this government has let down the people of the Bay. They have let our people down. And you know why? Because they've forgotten about the people while they're busy filling their own pockets and making their own friends wealthy and employing their own children and friends and family into positions. And all the while, more than 1.3 billion rand of infrastructure money has gone unspent. Services have collapsed. Corruption is rising. Last year, 21 SAPS members were charged with corruption. That's more than 5 times the number of those charged just 3 years ago. Not one has been convicted, and not one has been found guilty. Now, how on earth do we fight crime and criminals if the very people that are meant to go and arrest them are involved in crime themselves? Dis 'n skande. Tourism is under threat. Tourists being attacked, beachfront infrastructure falling to pieces. And when the water doesn't work, tourists don't want to come here. But I don't also need to tell you about the massive service delivery failures in this municipality. Want julle mense lewe op 'n daglikse basis, sonder water in die krane, sonder krag in julle huise en sonder werk vir julle families en jou kinders. En ons mense is siek en sat by hierdie wanbestuur en hierdie korrupsie wat gebeur elke dag hier in die baai. En so ons is hier vandag om 'n sterk boodskap uit te stuur. So ver en nie verder nie. Want ons het die geleentheid in die komende verkiesing om seker te maak dat ons die baai red van die rampokkers en die korrupte mense wat sit daar in die stadsaal. Dis ons kans. Op daai dag het ons 'n kans om hierdie wonderlike stad te red. And that's why we say, Get Nelson Mandela Bay working again. And why do we say again? We say again because we showed over a brief 9-month period just what we could do. And we know this next election is about rebuilding what has been broken, recovering what has been stolen, and renewing what has been left to decay. And can you remember those times when this municipality did its job? It began to show those green shoots of growth. When service delivery was happening, when we had a working bus service, where corruption was no longer the order of the day, with a metro police force that was starting to get on top of crime. I can remember those days because I came here a lot. And under Retief Odendaal, things started to change. Under Retief Odendaal's leadership, Nelson Mandela Bay achieved its first unqualified audit in 12 years. Let's give Retief a huge round of applause for that. Retief het vir ons gewys wat leierskap is en hoe belangrik goeie leierskap is op 'n munisipale vlak. He showed us what fair leadership can do, and it can happen here again. This election, you have the power to bring back basic service delivery. You have the power to sweep this blue wave across Nelson Mandela Bay, all the way back into City Hall, to sweep the corrupt out and sweep the just in. And if you don't believe that we can do it, you can always go and read the Auditor General's report from when Retief was the mayor here. And if you don't like that, just people usually throw tomatoes at me, not microphones. And if you don't believe that, you can go and look at all of the reports that came out when the DA was in charge here. And if you still don't believe that, well, just go and ask the president. He'll tell you how great the DA is. And let me tell you, you must be doing something right when your biggest opponent says, what a wonderful job you're doing. And to him we say, thank you, sir, we recognize it, amen, and we'll carry on delivering, not only in Nelson Mandela Bay, but in every municipality that we can get our hands on in this election. But for Nelson Mandela Bay, there's only one thing that matters in this election. Will the party you vote for give you water? Will the party you vote for give you electricity? Will they fix the roads? And will they collect your rubbish? And if you're not 100% certain that they will, then for goodness sake, please don't vote for them. Because every election we have this shiny new bauble that appears on the political scene just before the election. And they come through and suddenly it's the independent Democrats and they're the way of the future. Then it's Cope and then they're the next big thing and they're going to be wonderful. And then people come along and they form other parties and they come along and they tell people we're going to vote. Rise Mzansi, well, they didn't rise in the last election. It's like this marsouffle, it never rises. They don't get it right. And you know what ends up happening? Thousands upon thousands of our people go and vote for those parties. And where are they today? Did they put a single tap on? Did they put a single kilowatt of electricity in your home? Did they deliver a single street without potholes? No, they didn't. But all over the country, whether it is in Nelson Mandela Bay, whether it is in Kocha municipality, whether it is in the city of Cape Town, whether it's Midvaal in Gauteng, or whether it's Umgeni in KwaZulu-Natal, every single day there's one party that is getting those things done. And that's my party, it's your party, it's the Blue Party, and it's the party that will bring change to this country and to this metro. There is no time to waste in this election. We cannot afford another 5 years of the same. We cannot afford to take a gamble on a party that has no track record, with leaders that have failed in everything else they've done, with nothing to show for what they've achieved. Don't be fooled in this election, because if you're going to take that bet, it's going to end up badly for you. In this election, when service delivery is at a crisis, when corruption is at its peak, you need one party, and you need to unite behind that party. A party with a track record of getting things done. A party that can get Nelson Mandela Bay working again. Not just words, but in deeds. And not only that, a party with the people, a party with the plan, a party with a man called Retief. Who wants Retief back here, Nelson Mandela Bay? That didn't sound very convincing to me. Do you want another 5 years of Gary? So who do we want here in Nelson Mandela Bay? So I say to you today, my fellow Democrats and my friends, do you want to rebuild together? Do you want to ruk reg here in die baai? We don't need to settle for this terrible deal that we've got. We don't need to spend another year witnessing the decay, the corruption, and the crime. We're going to build a city, a shining city on a hill, where your children can walk safely to and from school and to the shops. Where your children can play in completed sports fields, not half-built ones. Where tourists hear about our beaches and our culture, not about shootings and kidnappings or abandoned buildings. Where government funds are spent and not returned. Where budgets are honored, and when people say they're going to deliver infrastructure, it is real and you can see it. But this vision requires the courage of all of us to demand better. It requires good, solid leadership. An army is only as good as its general. But a general cannot run an army on his own. And so today, as leader of the DA, I commit that under a DA government in Nelson Mandela Bay, if the people in the city who voted for us in the past, and there may be some of you who voted for some of these popcorn parties in the past, and don't worry, we forgive you, but you get a chance to make it right in this election. There may be people who've not voted before. There may be people who've sat at home and said, my vote doesn't count. And my message to you is plain and simple. The DA is a home for all, and you are welcome. You're welcome in our blue family. And when you join this blue family, you can help create a safe environment where life is cherished and where business can thrive. When you join this blue family and join this cause to get Nelson Mandela Bay working again, you can ensure that municipal departments deliver the services you need, that they improve efficiency, and that they reduce losses. And when you join this blue army and join and link hands with us to march determinedly forward to this election, you're joining a cause that wants to get the basics right, that wants to restore streetlights, that wants to make water and sanitation the services that you expect and deserve, not the services you have to beg for. And when you join and march in lockstep with us towards that election next year in November, you're marching to rebuild public trust by rooting out corruption. And above all, you're marching with a blue army, a blue family, a blue cause that will make this bay a bay of promise. A place where your children can dream again, where investors and tourists can come because they know they are safe and they know that service delivery is not just a slogan, but it actually happens here in the Bay. Now you deserve this. After these 10 years of turmoil, you deserve it. And I'm here to tell you today that we have the candidate for mayor. 'n man met 'n plan. 'n man wat kan. And that man's name is Retief Odendaal. And I've known Retief for most of my political life. And I know that he will serve you honestly. He will be treating everybody in this municipality fairly and tirelessly. He lives here. He raises his children here. This is his home just as it's your home. And he wants it to succeed just like you do. He's proven that he'll give you fixed road sand pipes, restored water, he'll make sure the lights are on, and that he's paid the bills. He's put you first before, and he's going to put you first again. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's rebuild together. Let's make this bay a place of safety, of pride, of opportunity, of dignity, and of hope. And let us demonstrate what it means to put people at the center of politics, and how better governance will put money back into communities that have been deprived in the past. Let's rebuild. Ruk reg. Let's get Nelson Mandela Bay working again. And as I've said before, we have the man. En ek sê in Afrikaans, ek dink dit is 'n baie goeie gediggie. Ek hou van 'n man wat sy man kan staan. En as daar enige ou in die baai is wat sy man kan staan, dis ons inkomende burgemeester Retief Odendaal. Staan sterk, hou by die blou.
DA at work, rescuing South